Well, first of all, I'm looking at this house across the street that is jacked up. That mug folded like a gingerbread house. So make sure you get a shot of that. Where we are is Hillsboro at the Francis Rehab. I was about to say McKenzie, but Francis Rehab. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. This house right here, what they're doing now is just demoing the roof. They're gonna have new roof, new decking, but also demo out the inside, tearing all the sheetrock off, tearing the floors up, getting all the trash and debris out of here so they can try to readjust and reset the floor plan. And then turn around and put everything back, your systems, your mechanics, your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC before they put the walls back in and try to get this thing finished. So this is a big project. This is the first step of a big project, but I honestly can't take my eyes off that house right there because we were looking at it and it is bad. That is horrible. If you don't see rehabs every day, once a week, once a month, you walk into this house and you think, what in the world is going on? It's a catastrophe. There's stuff everywhere. There's blankets in the walls, there's half-hung ceiling fans. That's what happens when you are doing a demo. You just start to open everything up. What I see that there's a lot of old piping, there's a lot of things that haven't been addressed, there's a lot of walls and door frames and things that weren't square that are gonna need to be adjusted. So there's a lot of work going on the inside. This is just step one, but I think these guys are very good and trained at ripping these walls out, getting everything put back together in one setting and making sure everything is perfect for us to do the systems and the mechanics. Time frame wise, finishing this one, it's not that big of a house, so you're probably looking at 2.5 months start to finish. Majority bulk work, once demo and stuff is completed, it's probably gonna be done in like 30 days, but you do have some things that you need a little bit of help on. City to turn on utilities, if there's permits or things that need to be pulled, or if the city inspector pulls up, you know, those are things that you might have to, problems you might have to incur, and you gotta plan for those too. Yeah, so the roof, anytime you have a roof that was probably put on, or house that was built in the early 40s, 50s, sometimes 20s, which you get a lot of that in an area like this. Anytime you do that, you kind of go into it knowing that the decking below is probably not sound and solid. And so that's one of the first things we found was there was a dip in the roof on this one, like somebody had walked up there and almost fell through, which lets you know that the joists, the rafters, all of that is probably too damp and too worn down and deteriorated. So it's not just putting shingles on, it's going in, making sure your joists and stuff are good, making sure that your decking is good, which is your plywood. That's kind of like your underlayment of flooring. And then you can go on, put your felt, put your shingles on top of that. And that'll get your roof back sound and watertight. So we're here at our Santa Fe project. What they're doing right now is they're preparing for our foundation pre-pour inspection. That's where the city comes out and they inspect our lot. They inspect the prep of the lot to make sure we're ready for concrete. So when we're pouring foundation is basically the base of the home, right? So when we're trying to prepare for the foundation to be poured, we break foundation installation up into 4 different groups. Form boards, which are the wood boards that show the exterior walls of the home. You've got underground plumbing, which are the white pipes that come out of the lot, so that way you see where the drains are gonna be and the water lines are gonna be. You've got rebar and trench work, which is gonna be where they actually trench out the dirt and make sure that rebar is laid so that it is strong enough to withstand different weather conditions. And then finally, you've got the actual concrete pour where the trucks come, they actually put the base of the foundation down. So those 4 different phases make up the installation of our foundation, which is the base of our home. It's the strength of our home. So that's what they're doing today. We're pretty much on phase 3 or section 3 of that installation. Once we pass inspection, we'll be ready for the 4th phase. As far as what they have left to do on the foundation itself, once they finish trenching and we get that inspection passed and the rebar goes down over the lot spaces, then they'll pour concrete in about a day or 2. And they'll form that concrete, make sure it's dry, make sure it's stable, and then we can start framing the house. Once you start framing the house, you're usually about 60 days or 60 to 90 days away from being finished. This is an important step to get the progression of this house built.